Okay, today we have a big treat. We're going to be talking to Joe, who was one of our success stories in the private Facebook support group, and she bought our program. And we're going to be asking her lots of questions about what she did to successfully win her ex back. But let's just introduce ourselves. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Joe.
Hey Chris. Well, from Sydney, Australia. I'm 26. What about me? Did you want to know?
Well, basically, just sort of like tell me a little
The
bit of the
situation.
background with you and your ex. Like, how did you guys
Okay.
meet? What caused the breakup? And we could just sort of go from there.
Okay, yeah. With my ex, who's now my boyfriend again, we're actually family friends. So I have known him since I was born, pretty much. My dad and his dad were best friends when they were in high school back in the Philippines. We were together for a year and a half, and we broke up because I was too toxic. Like, I was insecure. I dwelled on the past a lot in our relationship, and I guess he just got sick of it. And yeah, he left. Like, he was a nice guy. Like, he took it all in. He didn't really say much. I think like when I like so the day before he broke up with me, he was at a party, and then I got upset that he didn't invite me, and I went psycho. And then the
So hold
next
on,
day he
hold
broke up
on.
with me.
Okay. So define psycho. Like, what kind of psycho
Oh,
behavior did you do in your
well,
eyes?
I I spoiled his night. Like, instead of letting him enjoy his night with his friends, like, he was arguing with me. Like, I just got upset that he didn't invite me with his, like, to go to the catch up he had with his friends.
Okay.
And then yeah, like, yeah, with me, like, and then I blew up the smallest issue to like the biggest issue. Then the next day he broke up with me. It was like, I'm
So
just sick of it.
basically,
Yeah.
so it's like you just started a fight just to start a fight because you were really upset
Pretty
about the fact
much.
they didn't invite you to
Yeah.
the party.
Yeah.
So how does he
As
break up with you exactly? Does he do it in person? Does he text you? Does he do it over the
Oh
phone?
no, he we did in person. He was like to me, "Hey, can you come?" Like the next day, he was like to me, "Oh, can you come over before you go to work, please, or after you finish work?" So I went before work, and then he had like a few of my belongings at his house, like a few books and some toiletries. He was like, "Oh, I'm done. Take this. I don't want to see you again." And I was
So
begging.
going into that meeting, did you have any idea what was about to happen? Did you think it was just like a normal get together?
No, I actually thought we were gonna talk about the night before, because the night before when he was at our hangout with his friends, before he we were on the phone, and before he hung up, he said to me, "Please remember that I love you, and please trust me." Like, it ended fine,
Okay, so
but
you
then
kind of
I
like patched the
yeah,
thing, the fight up, but he
yeah.
he clearly still was very bothered by the
Yeah,
behavior.
so I think, yeah, so I think when he got home that night, he was thinking a lot, because I saw him like online on Instagram, like pretty much after it was like I saw him on like probably like 3 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, yeah. So when I went there, he broke it off, and yeah, it was embarrassing. I was begging, and like his dad was at his house, and because, like, I told you my dad and his dad
Family
are close and
friends,
we're
right?
family friends. Yeah, he was like telling um my ex that, like, for us to calm down and talk it out, but like at the
How
time that
what a fascinating dynamic that is. Because
I know,
I
like,
no, I think that actually helped you in getting them back because it's like, you know how
it
I
it
always talk about the
did.
sphere of influence. It seems like that the fact that
Yes,
your
they were
dad,
in that. Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
okay, he breaks up with you, and do you just scour the internet looking for advice right away, or do you make the classic blunders of continuing to beg for him back for a few days and try to find out like a way to make him come back to you?
Okay, so that day he broke up with me. I begged for like about half an hour at his house.
Okay.
And then his dad told me to calm down and give him space. So I gave it like 3 days.
Okay.
I think I found your program yeah, that day as well. Like I saw videos on YouTube, but I didn't buy your program until until after 3.5 weeks
Okay, so you
of the
first
breakup.
found me through YouTube. So you saw like the YouTube
Yes.
videos that I put out and you're like, "Okay, I kind
Yes.
of like the vibe." But
Yeah.
it took you kind of getting into the hole a little bit deeper before you were like, I need extra help. Someone needs to help me."
Yeah.
And that's when you pull the
Yeah.
trigger, you buy the program.
Yeah.
Do you get through the program, or is it one of those situations where you kind of get into the Facebook group and just sort of wing it on your own?
Oh no, no. So like I was trying to stick to the program to the T. So
Okay. Well,
yeah.
that's okay. So obviously you get him back, but what I'm interested in isn't so much if you
Hmm.
followed the program. I want to see whatever deviations you made from the program.
Oh yeah.
So take me from start to finish. Like, what did you do in your mind to help you get him back?
Okay. So because I knew like the reason why he broke up with me, that I was toxic and like insecure and yada yada, and I actually had like, he could see that I had like, oh, I guess I could say that I kind of have anger issues.
Well, so the interesting thing to
So
me about it is I feel like I would be upset if I was in your position too. But I
hmm,
can also see why he's upset at you being upset
yeah,
because maybe he just wants
yeah,
to like have a fun time with his friends. But I feel like maybe
yeah.
you getting angry is more like, okay, he's in this environment. Maybe there's other girls there that hit on him. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to get cheated on. Was there any kind of like insecurity like that lingering? Was that
Oh
like
no,
kind
no,
of
no,
so
no. It was
so
just because like no, so the people he hung out with, I've met all of them. They're all his like workmates. I think I just got upset because I'm so used to us. Like we got like we, being together for a year and a half. We got very comfortable with each other, and we were seeing each other every day. And I think just and we were always together, I guess. And I think because he didn't tell me that he was going to hang out with his friends. I saw it on his Instagram. And
okay.
then I was like, okay, you didn't invite me. What the hell? Yeah.
Okay, I get it. I get it. So
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
it's almost like a break from the norm. You're like, why don't
Yes,
you
pretty
you
much.
always invite me? Why aren't you inviting
Yeah.
me now? And you feel like maybe there's
Yeah.
something wrong and it just kind of blows up. So
Yeah.
you've gotten in the program. What do you do next?
Okay. So I'll tell you what I did just a little bit before I got into the program. So I spoke to my auntie. We're very close. I told her about my whole situation and everything. She advised me to get counseling just for like, my anger, I guess, because I've just got some, because my parents are divorced. So I think a bit of like I was affected a lot, but I didn't realize it. And my dad's got a temper, so I live with my dad, so I think it's kind of rubbed off on me, and then it affects the other people in my life. Yeah. So I so okay, so we broke up on the 1st of June, but I didn't start the program until the 26th of June because between that time I was texting my ex here and there. But what put him off? So we were still like we were still friends on social media before I went into no contact. It was on the 25th of June. I drunk texted him, and then he thought I lost the plot, so he blocked me. He blocked me on Facebook Messenger. He unfollowed me on Instagram, unfriended me on Snapchat.
Ooh,
But
so
I
he
was
blocked
still
you full like so were you blocked on the phone?
no, I wasn't. I wasn't blocked on phone, text. I wasn't blocked on WhatsApp.
Okay.
I was blocked on Facebook, but he didn't block me on Instagram and Snapchat. So I was just a bit like, okay, where, okay, what's the go? And then yeah, so that was the 25th of June. I started on net no contact on the 26th of June, and then yeah,
And so how does
and
your no contact period go? Like,
Uh, uh,
did you make it through it pretty unscathed, or was it like a battle just to get through those ignoring days?
the first the first 20 days were a struggle. I was like crying every night.
Oh,
Um, but then, okay, so I'll also give you a little bit on my situation, like just financially, because my ex, um, he's got heaps of savings, and we had goals of like buying a house together and all that. And I have like lots of debt. Like I had credit card debt, like 6,000 Australian dollars, right?
okay.
Like yeah, like to him, okay, this is what I didn't like. To him, it was like he found it a big issue. But the thing is, I never asked him for help or anything to pay off my credit card. I think he just saw it as a hindrance, like for buying a house together. But the thing
Okay.
is, like, like we're studying, so that's not like a goal until for like another 4 years. Um, but yeah, so during NC, I think I struggled the first 20 days because I didn't do anything for myself really. It was just because I was focused on paying off my credit card. So I didn't really do that much. It was weird because I kind of cut out a lot of people. Like, I think the only person I kept in contact with a lot was my best friend, and I was with my brother all the time. My parents, I got closer to my parents. With my brother, because him and his girlfriend, they broke up a week after me and my
Wow.
ex.
Okay.
So, and then I told my brother to join ERP. So my brother joined ERP, and we pretty much went through it together. So
Wow.
he's pretty much been my rock. And funny story, they got back together like 2 weeks ago. So
That's pretty
thanks to
awesome.
ERP. Yeah, but he didn't really stick to it. Like I think we only did like no contact for 3 weeks. Anyways, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's
More
okay.
about, yeah. So with me, yes, I focused on my credit card. So I actually paid off my credit card that had $6,000. I paid that off 6 weeks after the breakup.
Okay.
So
So that
yeah,
was, it seems to me like the no contact rule, you'll often hear me talk about the Holy Trinity: health, wealth, relationships.
yes,
And it seems to
yeah,
me
I
like the big
focused on
thing
that.
you focused on was the wealth aspect, which is like, I need to
Yes,
get
I
out of this
did.
credit card debt. And so you just
Yeah.
paid the whole thing off throughout the entire period of no contact.
No, so I actually had I started with $12,000
Okay.
at the
So you
start of the
halved
year,
it.
and then got to half. And
Okay.
then
That's pretty
yeah,
good
and in
though.
Australia, yeah, and in Australia, tax return time is July, so that pretty
Okay.
much helped me pay it off. Yeah,
Okay.
and then so after I paid off my credit card, oh, I was so much better. I signed up for pole dancing. I signed up for aerial yoga, and I
Okay.
went to the gym more. And yeah, and I spent more time with my brother. We like every weekend we would play like table tennis in the park or something. Um, and yeah, so after that, I started to become okay. I was crying less.
Would you
I kept
say,
myself busy.
so would you say that at any point during your period of no contact, you get to this point like emotionally where you like, I don't know if I want him back anymore? Or was that like a
Oh
consistent, was that like not even in the cards? You were pretty much like, no, I want to get him back.
no, I had there were quite a few times where I didn't want him back
Okay.
because it's just because I thought that, if I thought, because people, you like, so you, ERP, and like everyone else kept reminding me that I should know my value, and I did. And I just kept thinking to myself, like, those times that I didn't want him back, I was just like, we're supposed to be together through thick and thin, and he let me down.
So that to you is like, okay, he's not in this as much as I was in it. And you
Yeah, I
emotionally throughout
guess.
this period of no contact are thinking at some point, like, I don't know if I want him back anymore.
Yeah. Oh, I was also very clingy. So I think that put him off as well.
Oh, okay. So, how long of a period of no contact did you plan on doing?
Oh, so I was planning so before the assessment, I thought I was only gonna do 30 days, but then when I did the assessment, I had to do 45 days.
And
But
so,
yeah, the plan
the,
was to stick through the whole 45 days, but
okay,
I broke it up
so what
day
happens?
41.
So I already know a little bit, spoiler alert, because she had this huge write up in the Facebook group.
Yeah,
So how long
yeah.
did you make it through no contact?
41 days.
Okay, that's still pretty a lot. So what is it that
Yeah.
causes you to break no contact early?
It was because you know how I told you that I started, did I tell you I started seeing a counselor?
Yeah, you said you went to the counselor.
Yeah, so I'm still going. I still go like every 3 weeks. So I was just telling my counselor about like, I was telling her how I was emotionally, like, I was getting better. But it was because my ex contacted me on day 30 on day 32.
Okay, so
Yes.
that's an interesting piece of information. So what does he say when he contacts you on those
Okay.
days?
It's funny because his very first contact was a phone call, not a text. And
Okay,
I
so
was really
he jumped the value chain. He
yes,
went right up to
he
the phone call. Okay.
did.
Did he like leave a voicemail?
No, so he called me. It was at 10 p.m. on a Saturday, right? And I was
Okay.
like, what the hell? I was watching Netflix with my mom and my brother, and I had my phone, and I was like, Mom, he's calling me, and she was like, don't answer. So I didn't answer.
Okay. And on
Yeah,
day
it was weird.
32, you
And
said day
he
32,
texted me.
so what does he text you?
He was like, "Hey, how are you?"
Okay,
And
so
I'm
the
just like,
bare
"I need
minimum.
more than that." Yeah, I was like, "I
Okay.
need more than that." Oh, I also didn't tell you, but during like since the breakup, I got off all social media. The only social media I got on was
Interesting.
Facebook
Were
for
you
ERP. That's it.
okay, so but you weren't posting
That's
anything on
it.
social media, you just went
No,
silent.
like
Interesting.
I actually deleted all the apps. Like I deleted Instagram, Snapchat, everything. I just deleted the
Just
apps.
not to tempt yourself.
Yeah.
Was that a an executive decision on your part to stop you from obsessing about what he was posting?
Yeah, I guess so because like and it was weird because every time I would open those apps during the breakup, my heart would be palpitating. I think
Really?
because I was so worried about what I was seeing. No, and also I think because the first week of the breakup, I was checking his Instagram. Like he was posting a lot. Like he posts on his stories. He would post a lot. Like he was posting like 10 stories a day. And like before he hardly posted. So,
That's
I
excessive. That is so excessive.
I know, like, and then I watched one of your videos, the one that says, why do they like post so much? And it was about, I think, like filling the void, and like I could see it. And I think, he wanted to show me that he was doing okay. But then, yeah, I got off. I was just like, this hurts too much. So
Okay.
I got off. Yeah, like even being on Facebook made me nervous. I wouldn't scroll through my news feed. I would just type in the search bar ERP and then just look at like
Go to
new
the
posts or
group. Okay.
whatever.
Just
Yeah,
stay in
that's
the safe
it.
space of the group.
Yes,
Got it.
yes, that's it.
That's pretty funny. Okay, so
Yeah,
he contacts you with the obligatory, "Hey, how are you?" And you eventually
yeah,
do respond to him 10 days later. Now,
yes,
how do you respond and what is behind the decision to break no contact? Granted, it's 41 days, so you almost made it to the end, but what's
yeah.
behind the decision to break it and what do you respond with?
Okay. So, it was just because it was him contacting me was driving me crazy. And I was thinking, I kept asking my brother and my battle buddy, like, why, like, I wonder why he's contacting me. So, day 41, I had a counseling session. And
Okay.
yeah, so then I was telling my counselor about, ERP and the whole no contact rule thing. And she agreed with the whole like you know with the reasons for it, that, to let emotions settle from both parties, and like to heal pretty
Yeah.
much and find yourself again. But then when I told her about my ex contacting me, and because I told her, oh, it's driving me crazy, I don't know what to do, like, why is he contacting me? Like, he blocked me on, like, pretty much everywhere except phone and text. Like, I actually thought he blocked me on phone, but then, him calling me and
Okay.
texting me confirmed that. Anyway, so my counselor said to me, oh, people don't reach out for no reason, especially men. And then that's what made me break no contact.
Okay. So the counselor basically says, no, you should try. So what do you use, or what do you say to him? Do you call him, or do you send a text message to him?
No,
What's your plan?
I sent a text message, but it wasn't like a usual ERP one. Like, I already had one planned, the
The
hook
curiosity
question.
hook thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't do that.
Okay. No, no, no. That's good. That's good. So what was it that, because to me, it seems like the hook thing you don't really need because he initiated the contact already.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what was it that you said back? Did you just respond to his
Okay.
initial question 10 days later, or did you just start like a new thread or a new conversation?
Well, he just said, hey, how are you? So
Right.
I just said, oh, um, I said, hey, sorry for not replying to you.
Okay.
I just needed a bit more time to heal, and I'm ready to talk now if you're ready to talk. Would you like to
Wow.
catch
Okay.
up?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
pretty
you went
much.
you went right to it. That's interesting. Okay. So you basically you did something interesting, which is like you labeled this awkward silence. So like,
Yeah.
because like he sends the text message on day 32, and then
Hmm.
you respond to him on day 41. So that means
Yeah.
like almost a little over a week has gone by, and obviously the number one question he's going to have if you respond to that text message is like, well, where the hell were you? But you seem to cut that off immediately by basically just saying like, hey, I'm sorry it took so long to respond. um let's catch up. Now
Yeah.
usually we don't advise to go right for the kill like that. Usually you try to
Yeah,
build
I know.
a little bit of rapport, but it
Yeah.
seemed to have worked out for you. So does that kind of scare him off a little bit, or does he wrap around that opportunity to see you in person?
Well, so after that, well, okay, so I'll just give you my thoughts on why I sent that. It's just because I felt like my counselor was like to me, oh, you should be genuine,
Okay.
if you really want to repair the relationship with him. So that's what I did. And funny thing, he responded in 10 minutes and he was so positive.
Okay.
He was like,
So the no
yeah,
contact really had an effect on him.
it did. Like, I can tell you what happened. Like, I guess we're going to what
Yeah,
happens
yeah,
when we meet up.
yeah.
Yep. So yeah, he pretty much said, oh, hey, that's okay. So I'm trying to think because I can scroll up through to the message, but he pretty much said, oh, hey, that's okay. I'm just busy with school at the moment and it's assessment time. Can we catch up in 3 weeks? I was like,
Wow.
then yes. And
Okay.
then he was like, how's work and everything? And then, I responded. I said to him, oh, yeah, I said, yeah, that's fine. I know you're busy with school. Whenever you're free from assessments is fine. And then when he asked me how's work and everything, I went straight in because I know my credit card bothered him. I was like to him, oh yeah, I'm good. Work's good. I paid off my credit card 3 weeks ago. And then he didn't reply until 3 days after because he had assessments. But yeah, I was worried when he didn't respond. I thought it got him thinking because, I guess I kind of proved him wrong. Like, he thought I was going to be in like debt forever. But
Okay.
yeah, then he replied to me to that text message 3 days later. It was a Sunday. And I was so excited because his text message was like his first text message that day was very long. He was talking about he was saying, "Oh, hey, sorry for the late reply. I had a hectic week." And it was funny because because he's studying film and television. So he was telling me about his assessment, and he was giving me like the thesis statement and everything, and I'm just like, I showed my brother. I was like, that is a lot of effort, and that
Yeah,
is
it's a
such
lot of
it
words.
was. Yes, it was so wordy. I was like, wow, he actually lost me. And then, yeah, and then I got excited, and but I tried not to show that I was excited, so I replied 2 hours later.
Okay, so you
And
have
and then
some
yes,
self-control.
yeah.
Wow.
So I responded 2 hours later, and then he tried to reciprocate me. He responded. So we were pretty much texting that whole day. He was responding to me. He responded to me after that, like an hour. So then the next 5 texts, there was an hour gap from each of us. And then I think when it hit like 6 p.m. in 6 o'clock in the evening, he was taking like 10 minutes to reply. And
Okay,
then I
so
would
it was
take
just
half
like
an
ki-
hour.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of
But it
like
was a good day. Yeah.
it's kind of like back to normal. Like you slowly got back
Kinda,
into
yeah.
that texting routine. So I'm
But it
kind of
was, yeah,
curious.
yeah.
You're not, so he says, I can't see you for 3 weeks. Did you guys end up
Yes.
meeting up earlier than the
We
three
met up
weeks?
too. We met up. So when he said 3 weeks, right? We ended up meeting like 5 days later.
Okay, so it was basically BS by him then. He's trying to play it cool
Yes.
essentially is what that was.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like because like I started to feel okay now, I started posting again on
Okay.
my socials. And then you know how I took up pole dancing? I posted like a short video, and he saw that.
Okay. Now all of a sudden he wants to take you out. That's funny.
I think it was the credit card that really shocked him.
I think it was not just the credit
I think it
card.
was
I think it was
yeah,
like and all of the
I
above,
think
like this confluence of all these
everything.
things that just match up and just create the perfect cocktail. So essentially you just talked to him for 5 days and he's like, hey, so who initiates? Like, is it him saying like,
He
hey, I need to see you?
he was like to me, oh wait, I'll tell you, I forgot to tell you. Sorry. At the start, like when we were in our old relationship, I had no hobbies. Like I had no hobbies whatsoever, right? Because we were together
Okay.
all the time, and it was pretty much he was my whole world. But then like yeah, I ended up taking up like 3 hobbies when we broke up. So and I'm
Okay.
still doing it now, which is
Good.
good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
So I'm sticking to being UG.
Okay, good.
But yes, so after he saw my pole dancing video, he messaged me. He was like, "Oh, hey, are you free? I don't have work today. I just finished school." And then I was like, "Wow,
Wow.
okay."
So I mean, it's like so he sees the pole dancing video and it's like an immediate response.
Yes. And
Okay,
then
wow.
but but actually then so he said that he was like, "Hey, are you free? I don't have work today. I just finished school." He said to me he wanted to show me his projects for his assessments because he's doing
Okay.
film and television, like I
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
So
I mean,
I
you
don't know,
you got
maybe
to make
that
it
was just an
sound.
excuse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it seems to me it's like he gets all hot and bothered by the pole dancing video and he's like, "Oh, I got to see her now, but I need to make it sound like it's not going to be about that." So he's like, "Well, come look at my assessment." So you obviously go, right? You go and
Yeah.
see him and how does
Yeah.
that interaction work?
Oh, okay. So, well, actually, because so I'm very, I would like to call myself a bookworm just before I get into that with the meeting up again. Um, so when he asked me if I could see him because he needed help as well, he just wanted some advice because he's not really strong with essays. So I said to him, I can give you pointers if you want. And he was like, oh, that's what I always admired about you. You're so good academically, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so the meetup, I was hella nervous.
Yeah.
um, because I live with my dad. I told my dad that I'm gonna hang out with my brother because I didn't want him to know. I didn't want anyone else to know. Anyway, so I got there. Yeah, I tried to look my best, but it was just at his house, so it was just, not too overly dressed. But what really shocked me was that I surprised myself because I was expecting to want him back so much. And I expected my feelings to be so strong for him. But when I saw him, it didn't feel as strong as I expected it to be. So
Oh,
I think,
that's
yeah, so
awesome. It's really
so like
interesting you say that.
yeah,
No,
it's
what's really
I
interesting about
yeah.
that is ever since I've been doing these interviews, the people who've gotten their exes back feel the same exact way.
Mm,
And I think it's about how they use their time during no contact.
yeah, it was.
And I feel
I
like,
think, yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. Okay, so I'll just say this. I think it was the company I missed. I think you also said this in one of your books, because I think I bought everything from you. um, it was the company I missed, not him. So I saw that
It's just like the
when I saw
routine. You
him.
got so used to that routine,
Yes,
and then that's
yes. And then I
just
started
ripped
getting used
away
to being
one
by
day, and
myself. Yeah.
it's, yeah.
And then
So
I got used to being by myself and then, seeing him again.
So you saw him again though, obviously, and you get
hmm
there and you're just like, wow, I still love this person, but
Yes.
I expected to like get weak in the knees and faint or something like that, but that didn't happen at all.
Yes.
So
No,
you
it
almost
didn't
surprised
happen.
yourself. Now you
Yeah,
get
I was
there.
really shocked. And then something else that like he said something else that put me off. Like I was like for like a minute, I didn't want him back. But anyway, so I'll
For
tell
a
you what
minute.
happened. Yes. Okay, so when I got there, his mom cried when she saw me. She was like, I missed you so much. I was like, oh shit. She
So
cried. I was like,
it does
wow.
help to have that sphere of influence on your side.
Yes, it does. And then like I think his dad was having a nap. Both his parents were home at the time. This was like it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
His dad was having a nap. And then like I was just in my ex's room. He actually showed me his assessment. He showed me 2 videos, so he showed me that. And then his dad woke up like just as we were gonna go for a walk, and his dad hugged me as well and was like to me, "I missed you so much." I was like, "Wow!" I was like, "Oh my god, they're really in my circle of influence." Anyway, so you know, in your videos and in the ERP program, you talk about not talking about the breakup when you first meet,
Right.
right? So
Right.
I had that in mind, but my ex went off not like he talked about the breakup so much. I was like, oh my god, like, what the hell? Because I said, I was like to myself, I thought he wanted to talk about his assessments. Why is he talking about the breakup so much?
Well, that's
And
because
then,
the assessments weren't the real reason he wanted to see you, obviously.
okay,
It's just like
well,
the excuse.
yeah, I guess. Well, I didn't think that. Like, and in my mind, I was just like, okay, BUG, don't talk about the breakup at all. And then, yeah, so we went to the park nearby his house and we talked for like an hour. It
Okay.
was pretty long. Um, so this is so we had the talk. He talked about the breakup so much. Okay, so a few things that put me off so much. So the first thing, he talked about how he felt like he was the victim in our old relationship.
So I say that all the time in the videos though, don't
Alright.
I? I said like
Yeah.
even though they're the ones who broke up with you, they will victim mentality
Yes.
themselves. It's
Yeah.
just
So I
it's like
remember
a
that. I didn't
coping
react.
mechanism
Yeah.
almost. So you
Yeah.
didn't like that, so that put you off. What else put you off?
Then he said, because he asked me, he was like to me, oh, you know what? I think the reason why I was obsessed with like wanting him back so much was because I didn't even go on one date like during no contact,
Okay, so
right?
I kind of
So
see where this is
I
going.
was I was scared and I felt like I wasn't ready.
Okay.
But
So
yeah,
I'm
so
guessing he
yeah.
went on a few dates with a few girls.
Yeah, so he asked me, he was like to me,
Have you been
are
with
you seeing
anyone else?
anyone?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, "Are you seeing it?" I was like, "No, I haven't even been on one date." I felt like I shouldn't have said that, but he came
You
back.
probably just really should have went on a date, even if you it's just so you
Yeah,
had it
I know,
to
right?
say. But okay, so
Yeah, and then
did he say he had been on a few dates?
I think I didn't want to ask him because I
Right.
didn't want to
You didn't
know
want to be
because
that
I
girl
know.
too.
Yes, because like he knew me as a psycho, right? Like the smallest things I would blow up. Anyway, so then I asked him, "Are you seeing someone?" Then he was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Shit."
Oh, so
And
he's like,
yeah,
does that mean he's
he
in
was
a
seeing with
relationship with
someone.
someone?
No, no, just seeing.
Okay, so he just
Just
like went
like it
on a
was
few
like pretty
dates.
fresh.
Okay.
Yeah, he went on a few dates with this girl. Anyway, so that put me off. I was like, I don't want him back anymore. I don't want him
That
back.
works to your favor though, having that mentality, I think. Because
Yes, and
it
like
kind of
I
knocks him
was,
off the pedestal, you know?
yeah, but because like he knew me, like I was as like I reacted to everything. I kept my cool. Like I just stood there. I was like, oh, okay, like,
Okay.
and he was really shocked. He was really shocked. Like,
Okay.
so he said that to me. Anyway, so then um, and then I asked him, how long have you been seeing this girl? He was like, 2 months, and I was like, we've only been broken up for 2.5 months.
A
Like that was
rebound.
really quick. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really quick. And I'm just like, what the hell? Like in my head, I was going crazy. I was like, how the hell did he move on so quickly? But like my outside, I was just quiet, and like he looked at me like, he was like, oh, like he was a bit confused. Like I could see he was confused that I wasn't reacting, because usually
Okay.
I would. But then I remembered, BUG, keep your cool.
Yep. You did
But that's
good.
what I
You
did.
did good.
That's what I did.
So,
Yes.
what's like what happens next?
So then we were talking. We started walking around the blocks. So then he was like to me, "Oh, you've really shocked me." I was like, "Why?" And he was like, "You seem like a completely different person." I was like, "Oh, thank you." And then I
Okay.
smiled, and then you know what, Chris? I let him do all the talking pretty much the whole day. Like I
That's what
didn't
you're
like.
supposed to
I
do.
remember,
Yep.
yeah. So I remember, towards the end of the ERP, like let him lead. So that's what I did. I let him lead. Like I listened a lot. Like, he talked so much.
Yep.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. So we were walking around the block, and then he was like to me, "Oh, I still love you." I was like, "Oh, do you?" And then he was like,
So
"Yeah,
he's seeing someone loosely at this point, where I guess they
yes,
are kind of
yeah,
dating, but not really. They're in that gray territory.
they're not in a relation. They weren't in a relationship. Like they were,
Okay.
like no one knew of her. He
Okay.
he
So it
told
was
me
just
no one
some
knew of
girl
her.
he was taking on dates, but I'm
Oh,
pretty
his
sure.
parents knew her, but yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
So
Just
he
his
basically,
parents. Yeah.
so at this time, he's still seeing this girl technically then.
Yeah, but he told me the last time he saw her was like 3 weeks. So was
Okay.
3 weeks
So
prior.
it
So
had
he
been a
hasn't seen her
while.
for a
It
while.
seems like he
Yeah.
just kind of got bored with it. It was like the typical
No,
rebound.
he
Like,
got busy with school. That's what happened.
oh,
He
no,
got
but
busy with
so
school.
that's interesting too, because he was busy with school
Yeah.
when he started reaching out to you, and
Yeah, because he
he
said
saw
to
you
say when
5 days later, even though he was still busy with school.
yeah, so I'll tell you this. The day he broke up with me was the day before his first day of school.
Okay.
He
Okay.
said to me the day he broke up with me, he said to me, "Oh, I'm gonna be studying. I don't want any distractions."
Okay. So that's a
And then
contributing
yeah,
factor. But I feel
yeah,
like
and he
that's not
was,
the
oh
real
yeah,
reason he broke up with you. I feel like it's the excuse. Like oh maybe this
probably,
this will like kind of hold her
yeah,
over. Okay,
yeah,
so he says I still love you the very first time you meet up, you're walking, and
yeah.
he kind of went about it in a very clumsy way. So he basically says, I'm the victim. Oh yeah, I've been dating this chick, but I still love you. So it's almost like
Yes, and
he's
I was just like, what the hell? Like, is this guy playing games with me? That's why I felt like I didn't want him back anymore, because I felt like I deserved better, because I know my worth.
okay, but so what do you do when he says that he loves you? How do you react to that?
And so I was just like, oh, okay. And then he said, oh, my parents loving you is a bonus. And um, you know, uh, what else did he say? I'm trying to remember, because he talked about that and his parents. And then he said this, like, I thought I could get through school alone, but I realized I couldn't. And then,
Okay.
but then I felt like that put me off a bit as well, because I felt like maybe he only wanted to get back with me just for
Oh, you're
school and then
worried. It's
dump me
like,
when.
I
Yes, that's what
see.
I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
So, like, how do
And
you
then,
physically or verbally respond to him saying "I love you" that
and
quick?
then,
What do you say to that? Do you say anything to it? Do you just like ignore it like it didn't happen?
okay, so he also said, oh, I want to make this work.
Okay.
So then I was like, yeah, I want to make this work too.
So he just asked for you back right there,
Yeah, pretty
but in
much,
the
pretty
most
much.
clumsy, strange way possible.
I,
So he
we
gives you
were walking on the street.
so well no, he says, "Yeah, I'm really upset because you hurt me a lot. I'm the
Mm-hmm.
victim. Oh yeah, by the
Yeah.
way, I've been dating this girl for like 3 months after we broke up. Oh yeah, by the way, I love you. Oh yeah, by the way, I thought I could get through school alone without you, but I can't," which gives you all these conflicting emotions because you're like, number one, you were not the victim. Number two is like,
Mm-hmm.
how dare you start dating this guy or this girl? Let's hope it's not a guy. And number three is like, well, are you just asking for me back because you want my help to get through school?
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like despite all of that, you just were like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. But then we both agreed to take it slow. So then
Okay.
I was like, okay, we'll take it slow. So that was good. And
Did
then
you
I said
did
to
you
him, I said,
ever
yeah.
did you ever ask him like a little bit about his mentality while you were doing the no contact rule?
Oh
Like,
yes. Oh my God. Yes, I did. I did. I was like to him, hey, so okay. I asked him, I said to him, why did you call me? Because I remember that was
right,
his
right, right,
first
right.
reach out. And then he was like to me, oh, I actually was stuck on an assignment and I needed your help.
Okay.
So this is what
Do you think that's
contributed to me
do
thinking,
you think that's truthful though? Do you think it was like he's just too prideful to admit like I just wanted to talk to you, so he comes up with the
no, I
assignment
think he
excuse?
was, no, I think he was pretty genuine because yeah, when we got back together, I helped him with one of his assignments. Like I could see him struggling. So I
Okay.
think that was genuine.
Sounds
Then
like
I
you should be
asked
the
him,
filmmaker.
right? And then it's just a theory that he struggled with. But anyways, then I asked him about the text. I said, why'd you text me, hey, how are you? And then, okay, so I didn't tell you this. So 4 days after the breakup, I left like this grand sorry gesture on his doorstep.
Okay, so you did the classic like I'm gonna buy his love back with a
Yeah,
huge gift.
pretty
That's
much.
gonna work.
This was 4 days after the breakup. So I left a note. Like so I dropped so much. I'll tell you what I dropped off actually. So I dropped off a PlayStation game,
What? So hold on,
pizza,
you're not getting away that easy. What PlayStation game exactly?
GTA 5.
Oh, that's a good one. I bought that game a few years ago after I hadn't played that, and I was just like glued to the TV playing that game for like 3 or 4 days straight. Like, this is so cool. But of course you do the most devious things on that game. It's not
Yeah.
it's so anyways, you
That
buy
game's
him a
fun.
PlayStation game. What else?
Pizza, donuts, a rose, a box of lollies, and a letter. So there was six things.
Holy oh my God. So that's a lot of stuff.
Yes. But
I,
then I was just like, that was gonna be the last thing from me. Like I didn't return any of his things. That was the
okay.
last thing from him. Yeah.
Okay.
That was the last
So
thing from me.
it has to hurt that you sent all that stuff and he didn't say anything
Yeah,
about it until
it
30 days
did.
later.
Yeah, no, because I also had a letter and I wrote a lot on there.
Okay.
Um, so I'll tell you, I think the one thing that, so you know how he texts, so in the letter, I said to him, oh, I should pay off my credit card by August.
Okay.
And then I asked him, so then when we met up, I asked him, what was your intention behind that? He was like, because he messaged me end of July. And then he was like to me, oh yeah, I just remembered what you wrote in your letter about your credit card, about you paying it off by August. I just wanted to see if
Wow,
if
that's
you were
interesting.
able to achieve that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that tells me he read the letter because I actually expected him to like not like read it, but he read it. And then yeah, and because I didn't like when he texted me that, I know I consulted the ERP group And then they were telling me, oh, no. So, it was so hard to resist, but I didn't respond. And then, and so, yeah, when I told him about the credit card, he told me, that I proved him wrong. So also, yeah, so sorry. So when we met up again, after telling me all that about, he still loved me, he was seeing another girl and blah, blah, blah. He said to me, oh, you proved me wrong. Like, you've changed so much. You've paid off your credit card and now you're doing pole dancing and aero yoga and all these things. It's like you're a completely different person. Oh, and also, like, because you know how I told you that I got off social media. I got off social media completely. I read like
Yeah.
10 books during no contact.
Okay.
And like
So,
he was proud for me. He actually said to me, I'm really happy and like proud of you for what you've achieved. Anyways, so with the hey, how are you text, he said to me, yeah, when you didn't respond, I thought you found someone else and moved on. That's what he said to me. That's what he thought.
so when you did respond, that's why he responded so quickly. He's like, "Oh,
Yes, I
yes.
think so.
Okay, that's interesting." Um, when you look back at your experience on how it all worked to get him back and everything like that, what do you feel like was the most important piece of advice that you received that was the most helpful?
Being UG and staying no contact. They were.
Okay, so the no contact bit, you mentioned that you really didn't do too much for the first, 25, 30 days, other than just
Yeah.
focusing on getting the credit card debt paid off.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
Um,
after that, I was okay.
after that, you kind of got into more of the hobby type thing where you mentioned the yoga,
Yeah.
the pole dancing classes, things like
Yeah.
that. Was there
Yeah.
anything else that you did during no contact that you're not maybe mentioning that you felt was like really important to getting through it?
Reading books. I read a lot of books. Like I read 10 books
Okay, so
during
it's
no
almost like you're
contact.
cultivating your mind too. So
Yeah,
I
so
think
and like
maybe you
getting off
did
social
more than you
media was
thought.
a yeah, like having that social detox was really good as well. Like I felt like when I got back on social media, I was like, this feels really weird. Like I don't want to be back on like because I felt like I got strong on my own, I didn't
You don't
need
want it to weaken
the
you out again,
internet. Yeah.
right? Yeah, there's
So
kind of an interesting relationship we have with social media if you think about it. It's almost kind of addicting.
mhm,
Like we go on there to look at other people's lives and see what's going on, but it's that kind of prevents us from living our own lives if you think about it. So by like cutting all that out, you were able to focus completely on yourself, on maybe finding some passions that you didn't have before, because it seems like a big problem of your relationship was you were too wrapped up into him and you
yeah,
didn't have any kind of
yes.
independence by yourself.
Yes. Yeah,
And
so I
that's
lost myself in the relationship. I did.
and how are things going now? How long have you been back together? So it looks like you got back together on August 9th. So you guys have been
No, we
back
got back. So almost a month now. We are really good. We are really good. Oh, do you want to know what happened with the other girl?
I would
The one that he
love to
was
know what
seeing.
happened with the other girl. So did she go
So
crazy trying to win him back?
oh no, I was expecting that. Like I thought she was gonna, fight for him back.
Right. You thought you were
But
gonna
yeah,
have
so
to
the
like get in a
day
fist fight with her in the streets or
that's
something.
That's what I thought. So I said to him the day we met up, I said, "What are you gonna do with the girl you're seeing?" Then he was like, "Oh, it wasn't really, it was wasn't really going, it's really slow and it's still early days, so I'm gonna end it with her." And then I said to him, "When are you gonna end it with her?" He was like, "Tonight." So then I
Okay.
saw him the next yeah. So then I saw him the next day, and then I said, "Oh," he was like to me, "Did you tell your dad?" I was like, "No." "Did you end it with the girl?" Because I said to him, "I will tell my parents when you've ended it with the girl." And then he showed me the text message. So actually, the day we met up, the girl texted him. She said, "Hey, I know we're both busy, but you haven't replied to me, and it's been more than 24 hours already." So I think so. Then from that text, I could see that him trying to reach out to me, he's kind of maybe it's deviated him from seeing her a bit. And then what really, like, I was really touched by the text message he sent her. He said
Okay.
to her,
That's
he
interesting. You
said
don't
to her,
usually hear that from the
I know.
with the other woman being involved. So what did he
Yeah.
say?
So he was like, "Hey, sorry for the late reply, but I caught up with my ex today, and I am so shocked at how much she's changed in the last 2.5 months. I am so happy and proud for what she's achieved, and I want to make it work with her. I think we're in it for the long haul." That's what he said to her. And then she said to him, I was expecting her to fight, right? But then she took it like a woman. She was like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, she said, "Oh, okay. Well, I'm just letting you know, if it doesn't work out with her, you can't come back to me."
That's
That's
a
what
good
she said.
response. Ooh, I like
Yeah,
that.
and then so I was like, "Shit, she's UG herself." and then and then my ex was like to her, "Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Wish you all the best." And then that was it from them.
Wow.
And
So
then
I love the fact that he even showed you the text message to
yeah,
show
he showed
just
it was really long. I was really touched. And then he said to me after he said that, because we were kind of in this situation before, like a year and a half ago, where he had to pick between me and this other girl. And then when he said to me, "Oh, I picked you again, you better be worth it," as a joke. But like, we know it's half meant. So
right, right. So things are going really well, it seems like right now for you guys.
we are really good. So at the start we were saying, "Oh, we'll take it slow, see each other two to three times a week." But just like last week, we pretty much saw each other every day, and I was like to him, "What happened to seeing each other 2 to 3 times a week?" And then he was just like, "Oh, no, I just miss you a lot." And
Oh, that's
so
so cute.
um and then because I didn't tell him about ERP, but one of your bundles, Chris, like the relationship fitness activity, I read that.
Yeah.
And so we've been bonding a lot. Like we would go by the like water or the beach, and we would like listen to like a playlist and not talk to each other. We'd also read books together. And it's funny because what is kind of working for us now is like we're trying each other's hobbies. So like he's been coming with me to aerial yoga and Pilates like
Okay.
for the last 2 weeks. Yeah, and it's funny because he's the only guy there, but like he loves it. So, but yeah,
No, that's
we are
great.
really good right
No, I
now.
hadn't heard that strategy before of trying each other's activities because usually one party is
It's
just
about
not
like
interested at all.
yeah,
But
it's like just giving each other space, but it's actually pretty good. Like I actually tried playing COD the other day. Do you play COD, Chris?
no,
No.
so in America we don't really have COD. I don't even know how it's played. Maybe it's just a different.
Oh,
So
Call of
what?
Duty.
Oh, Call of Duty. So COD.
Sorry,
I thought it was
sorry,
like
Call
some
of Duty. Oh no, no,
Australian
it's Call of
game.
Duty.
No, no,
Do you
I've
play
played
Call of Duty?
when I was like a high schooler. I used to play, but I mean they
Ah,
made like
okay.
15 different versions of it now. But I remember when they had Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I had the very first original one. I used to play that. I used to play Halo, but I I I grew up and had a family, so that the video game time is not
Yeah,
really there anymore.
no, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So
you did
yeah.
Call of Duty with him.
Oh no, I he wanted me to try this gun the other day, so I played for like 10 minutes, but I was like, nah, I can't do
Yeah.
this. I
So
kept
the
dying.
best part of
But
playing
yeah.
that game is going online and just trash talking people over the internet. It's the best.
Well, my mic was off, so
Okay.
I was just listening to everyone trash talk each other. But yeah, so we're really good now. Like, we actually kind of had our first argument on Sunday because in Australia it was Father's Day on
Okay.
Sunday. So I went
Right.
out with his family, and he's very like he's got a with his mouth, he's got no filter, so he just says things. And he kind of said something that upset me in front of his parents. And then it's funny because so that was kind of like our first argument, but I was
Okay.
trying to like I remembered, reading ERP, like, you have to maintain being UG.
Yeah.
So old
I
me, yeah, old
yes.
me would have went ballistic, and I would have fought with him for like 3 days about that issue. But you know what I did? I said to him, look, I want to sort this out calmly and like immediately, and I don't want it to be like before. And
Right.
like and because we fixed it up straight away, and I wasn't like angry or like screaming at him or anything. I just, I was like, I was strict, and then I just said my point, and then I said, let's move on. He said to me, like, when he said this, I just kept remembering like how far I've come. Like he said to me, "You've really changed. Like the old you would have went like psycho on me. Like I'm so proud of you." He said that to me on Sunday,
That's really
and
great.
I'm just like in my head, "Yep, it's about being UG." So yeah,
Well,
it's good. It's
I'm
going really good.
super happy for you. And you
Thank
said a lot of
you.
really interesting things that I hadn't thought of before, because it seems to me like one of the underlying factors that helped you succeed was, oddly enough, this like crazy gift you sent him. It's almost like, no, I still think it's a dumb idea to send a gift, period. But the fact that you had sent that letter gave him, it lingered, and it did make him want to reach out during no contact. So, as weird as it sounds, the clingy kind of obsessive crazy behavior worked in your favor a little bit, I think,
Yeah.
which is kind of a cool thing if you really think about it. I hadn't seen much of that. But is there anything else that you wanted to say to anyone listening here, to who's really struggling, and that maybe would inspire them to keep going or something?
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, definitely. So, guys, if you're listening to this and going through NC and struggling, um, stay strong. I know it's hard, but it's temporary. It will pass. Um, Stay in no contact. Go find hobbies. Or do journaling. I forgot to mention that I journaled every day, and I'm still journaling now. Journaling helps so much. Yeah, spend time with your friends and your family, and find yourself. Like, you come out so much stronger. And I'm glad I did as well.